All right, Coach, before the season, and it feels like before every season, the expectations say, oh, we're trying to meet some new guys, we're trying to get a new team together, but you guys will come out here, and has it really been a shock to you how well this team has played so far?
Hasn't been a shock. Like I thought early on that even though we were young, we had a lot of talented young players. We knew who was coming back from last year, and anytime you have Drew Burress coming back, you feel certainly good about your team. We knew we had added a lot of depth on the pitching side, and some of those guys are older. And so we felt like, okay, once we get going, let's just see what this is going to look like. We felt good about it, but I always say until you play another opponent, you don't know how that's going to go, and particularly until you see a freshman get in the fire. You don't know how the competitive side of those guys will work out, but man, these guys have just hit the ground running.
Yeah, I was going to say that you said young, and it is a young group, and you're starting young players as well, multiple freshmen in the starting lineup. It's the first time in a while that you guys had 3 and 4 hitters, both freshmen. What's kind of gone into that decision?
Well, it kind of happened because Kent Schmidt went out with an injury, and so now you're looking for who can control at bats, and it seemed like Caleb Daniel, rather than move Hernandez to 3 and then put somebody else in 4, we just felt like we'll just deal with who's going to be the 3-hole hitter. And Caleb Daniel has good at bats. He makes a lot of contact. He doesn't play like a freshman. He doesn't hit like a freshman. And we've been able to make that work out.
So what is the difference with these freshmen? I mean, we saw it last year with Drew, of course, coming in and hitting the ground running right away. What is it about these guys that's allowed them to do the same thing this year?
I think, one, we're in a really good state for baseball. So these guys, when we get them and they've grown up playing baseball in Georgia, they've played a lot of games. But I think Drew Burress deserves a lot of credit because of what he was able to accomplish as a freshman last year. I think he's done a great job of just counseling and mentoring these freshmen. He probably gives them a lot of confidence that, hey, I did it. You guys are talented too. You can do it. And they're getting opportunities, so they're getting consistent playing time, and I think they've just taken advantage of the opportunities they're getting. But I give Drew a lot of that credit.
So does he take kind of a leadership role with those guys, bringing them under his wing as well?
He came in here as a freshman last year and acted like a senior, but it was a really old team last year, but he fit right into that. But nobody wants to win more than Drew. He knows what it looks like to not only be a good player, but what it takes to be, successful, to be great. And I think he has just taken these guys from the time they got in here in the fall, he's taken them under his wing.
Coach, top 10 in wins all time in NCAA history. You've been doing it for a long time. I'm curious what it's like having to, coach this newer, younger generation of players and how you've had to try and adjust your coaching style over the year to adjust to these new guys that are much younger and have gone through a lot of different things.
Well, I think, I do have a lot of wisdom that I can certainly offer, but I have young coaches, and that is by design. Like I said, I've seen and coached in a lot of games, but the staff that I have, James Ramsey being not only a great player at Florida State, but playing for a guy like Mike Martin, I think, just the knowledge of playing for that guy is invaluable. Matt Taylor has done everything in, not only college baseball, but he's been in pro baseball. Jason Richmond, his sidekick, the dojo, those guys have a lot of synergy and work really good with the pitchers. Josh Schulman came in this year, new guy on the block, but we hired him. He's young. He's a very good recruiter. He's brought a lot of just offensive wisdom on base running, stealing bases, things of that nature. Scott Strickland, who's been a head coach at D1, is our ops guy. So, he's a little closer in age than I am, but those other guys are young, and I think, that was very strategic on my part to hire these young guys. And I give these guys opportunities to coach, but in today's time, there's a lot of analytics, there's a lot of computer work. You coach guys differently because of all the information you can get, and then all the practice scripts that we can do with technology in this lab sitting over here. Those guys have done a just great job with our players.
Was there a point in your career you had to decide, okay, I have to be open to adjusting versus, staying with what had been working for you for such a long time in your career?
Oh, I think the saying is adapt or die. I think I've been blessed to be in a great spot like Georgia Tech, but, I do think that I've been able to just observe, roll, kind of with the changing tide. And, and like I said, it's been a working formula.
Got quite a series upcoming this weekend. But first, I want to go back and talk about this last series, a road sweep, the first one since 2022. You guys go to Notre Dame in wild, I guess, atmosphere. The weather was insane. To be able to go get that win, what did you guys use that series as? Was it kind of a measuring stick to really see how good this team really could be so far, despite the opponent?
I think every weekend in this league is a measuring stick. It's like, okay, is this going to be good enough to win a series? And so, you win the first two. We did talk a lot about, it's the first time since I've been coaching. Now, I haven't had that many series at Notre Dame, but it's the first time we've ever won a series. So on Sunday, the message was we've won a series. Now let's go above that. Let's sweep on the road. Wins are hard to come by, particularly on the road. The conditions were very challenging, and you always worry about that as a coach, but thought like we handled it well. We found out like Thursday that Kent Schmidt wasn't going to be able to play, so there was a lot of things kind of happening going into the series, and then you get adverse weather, but man, I thought these guys played great.
So what does this upcoming series look like, Coach? You've got quite a matchup, a top 25 matchup here at home, a fantastic opportunity to show what this team really looks like on a bigger stage like this. What are you expecting out of your guys this weekend?
Oh, I think it will be a great matchup, and I would just encourage anybody that's a baseball fan to, roll out here and watch two really good teams, two well-coached teams go at it. Clemson has been, a force in this league for a long, long time. Eric Bakich and his staff have done a great job of just, getting these guys ultra competitive, not only in the league but nationally. And so, we need people to come out and watch it. I think they'll enjoy it, and they'll see a lot of guys playing in these games that in a couple of years will be playing on, big TV in major league stadiums.
And that pitching match, can you tell me about that? What can we expect? What should we be looking for?
I'll say this: like, we love Tate McKee, and so I'm all in on Tate. He's a great pitcher. We saw Aiden Canuck last year up at Clemson, and Jack Leggett, who Hall of Fame coach at Clemson, was there, and his quote, and I'm going to use it, was, "Drew Burress is the best freshman hitter I've ever seen, and Aiden Canuck is the best freshman pitcher I've ever seen in the ACC." So there you have it.
It's going to be a whole lot of fun, Coach. Anything that you're going to tell your guys before they go on a match? Because I'm curious, with the team being young, do they even feel any of that pressure? Or they kind of have that young whimsy of just like, we're just going out here and enjoying and playing some baseball?
That's my message. That was my message today. Like, I always say this: each game in our league counts the same. You either win or you lose, so one goes in one column, but the game doesn't change. And so just because Clemson's ranked and we know they're good, you can't put any extra pressure on yourself to perform. Just, these guys have been playing baseball a long time. Go do your thing, enjoy the moment, stay in the moment, and great things will happen.
Really excited to see it, Coach. Good luck, and congratulations again once on being top 10 all time.
Thank you.